Hello, this is Airport Noise Abatement with Kyle Campbell. So as a general overview of noise abatement, uh, noise abatement is critical for maintaining a good relationship with the public. Obviously, if you have people who are living around your airport that are really angry about the amount of noise that airplanes are making while they're flying in and out of the airport, it's not going to be a very good community image of the airport in the community's eyes. Um, and people will look down on the airport more than seeing a good relationship with the airport and the public. So it's a very, very big issue, and there's been a lot of cases where people have actually complained about it, and initially people responded with, well, look, the airport was here first. But that doesn't also always work, and especially nowadays, and that's is due to a few reasons. A couple of reasons being that there are changes in traffic flow as ATC changes to next gen, frequency of the traffic. Sometimes the airport wasn't first built there, so sometimes that carries no validity whatsoever either. Noise abatement is also addressed in many different grant assurances. These grant assurances are 5, 19, 21, 22, 26, and 31. This became a social issue in the 1960s whenever jet flying started to take over the amount of piston airplanes in the sky whenever people started to fly on jets rather than piston airplanes. In 1969, the NEPA Act was a catalyst for the awareness and response to noise by the public. So it started to really get the ball rolling on all of this stuff whenever that act came out. And Advisory Circular 150-5020-1 references information regarding noise control and compatibility planning for airport operators. So some federal guidance on noise abatement. In November 1976, the Aviation Noise Abatement Policy, or ANAP, came about. And this was the first identification of responsibilities of all the parties involved regarding noise abatement, so primarily the FAA and the airlines. So some FAA responsibilities, and again, this is cut down very much, but some responsibilities by the FAA are reducing aircraft noise at its source and land use of the airport and the surrounding area of the airport. And airlines' responsibilities were to retrofit or retire their jets that do not meet the noise level standards published in this this policy. Off to the right, and with this picture, you can see the first page of this policy actually whenever it came out. Talking about FAR Part 36. This part is titled Certificated Airplane Noise Levels, and it covers different stages of aircraft noise, from 1 being the most loud to 4 being the most quiet. So stage 1 of aircraft have never been shown to meet any sort of noise standards published in 1969, 1976, or even more recent noise level standards. Stage 2 aircraft meet limits that were set in 1969. Stage 3 aircraft meet limits that were set in 1977, and Stage 4 aircraft are limited to any limits that are less than 10 effective perceived noise level units, less than Stage 3. So it's got to be quieter by 10 effective perceived noise level units. It's got to be quieter than Stage 3 regarding that amount. This picture off to the right shows really interesting noise certification levels and why they are determined. So here you can see the dotted green line. You can see the approach path and the go around of an aircraft. So it basically shows how they calculate that and the spacing of certain noise levels could be, and taking an average of these two different red dots are they take an average from that to come up with the certified noise level of the aircraft. New regulation in 1979. This was the Airport Safety and Noise Abatement Act of 1979, better known as the ASNA. This brought up FAR Part 150, which has to do with airport land use compatibility planning, noise exposure maps, or NEMs, and noise compatibility programs, or NCPs. Up in the top right, you can see an example of a noise exposure map. It is essentially a geographical depiction of the airport and the surrounding area around the airport. And regarding this legend to the left of the picture, you can see different delineations between different noise levels and noise contours, where there are city and airport boundaries, and what is city land and what is county land. Some key terms. NLR. This is the amount of noise level reduction of noise attenuation in design of a structure. So whenever they are designing and building structures, be it a business building or apartments, whatever it may be, they come up with how much noise level reduction will happen between the upper layers of the building and the lower layers of the building. And NEM, this is a scaled geographic depiction of the airport and the noise contours, as well as the noise contours on the area surrounding the airport property. FAR Part 36, this is a regulation establishing noise certification standards for aircraft. And ANAP, the Aviation Noise Abatement Policy of 1976. Some questions. Which advisory circular references information about noise control and planning for airports? What did the ANAP do? What does FAR Part 36 address? And what is an NEM? Here are my references. Thank you so much.